really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's be free with me.
Hey everybody, I'm so excited to be here with you today. I am Nicki Baxley of Nicki Hearts Cards, and I cannot wait to talk to you and answer questions. So make sure that you pop up your questions in the chat. Today I'm going to be talking about my class that I did on fun folds, and I did fun fold with an interactive element. So this was my card, if you haven't seen that yet. And I'm going to try to open it for you so that you can see the interactive element. So let me get my hands ready here. Isn't that cute? Super cute. So hopefully you've seen the class. If you have not, you need to make sure you check this one out. It's called a Z fold with an interactive element. So I think I called it a double Z fold surprise or something like that. So it's definitely worth checking out. We had lots of fun techniques in there. I, on YouTube, am Nicki Hearts Cards, so make sure you're following me and checking in. And then popping in any questions that you might have. So with, I'm just going to tell Erin something. Erin, are you popping in the bottom of this? Because I'm not seeing any questions. Hi, Arlene. I see Arlene is chatting in the other one, but
Okay, I'm going to jump in really fast. Sorry, I have everybody in the vaccines. Click over, toggle over. You're on our private chat. Toggle over, and you can see the flowing chat. So just there's a little side button.
Comments.
Sorry, much. Yeah, go to comments, and you'll see all of our comments, and I will pop the questions up. So
okay, sounds great. Thank you.
I'll be going back to behind the scenes.
Yes. Bye, Erin. Okay, so when I did this card, one of the things that we talked about was using some fancy paper, if you've got some glitter paper, and then using up your pattern paper. So for this card, I used pattern paper for my die cuts. So instead of stamping something, I went and used the pattern paper on these. So let me kind of show you. We also did some heat embossing on this cupcake, just to give it a little extra frosting look. So it's just a way, if you've got some pattern paper that you really want to use, it's really cool to have the back of your card. If it's a double-sided pattern paper, it looks so cute. So I had lots of fun with that. These products that I used, most of them are from Paper Tray Ink. So just FYI. My freebie, if you haven't printed out yet, are some stickers. So print out some stickers, and I made these stickers so they will fit on your Z fold if you want to just print stickers and use those. Oh, thank you. Oh, that would be a great idea, Peggy. So have I ever done a spinner card with a spinning tree? No, but that would be really cute. I haven't done tons of spinner cards. I do a decent amount of fun folds, and I can show you some of those other ones, but I have not done the spinner card with a Christmas card. That sounds like a really cool idea. I'm going to keep that in my head for later. All right. So what is the die cutting machine that I use today? Most likely, if you're talking about in the video, my most used die cutting machine, and it might be easier for me just to pick it up, is going to be this. Can you see it? So hard to figure out where the camera is. Sorry. This is an Anna Griffin Impress. I use this one when I'm doing die cutting, and there's a bigger machine also as well. And I tend to use my spellbinders. I have a different machine for embossing folders. If you see my channel and find me out on Nicki Hearts Cards, you know that I love embossing folders. So I do have a specific machine that I really love for that technique. So I do have a couple of different die cutting machines because this is my job. All right, let's see what our next one is. I see one. Okay, so Arlene, Arlene. Arlene's a fellow Tennessean with me. So I'm from Tennessee. And as far as the more detailed fun fold cards, I do fun folds probably once every few months. It's not something that I do every single time. I'm definitely more of an embossing folder, stencil, stamping, really detailed cards, but not always fun folds. The most recent fun folds that I did some Valentine's, and I can pull these out and show them for y'all too while we're popping up more questions. I think Arlene was actually at my live when I did this one. Let's see if we got another one. Okay, so here's one of my most recent fun folds. This one is, it folds this way, and then it also has two things in here. So it's kind of like this part bends out. So it's kind of like a Z, but it can also stand up, which is awesome. So we did that. And I did that in a live stream recently. And these are from the same company that made a lot of the dies that I used in my video today. So tell me if you've seen my video so far, because I'd love to hear if there's any specific questions on it. How long does it usually take from inspiration to completion? I think that I would say, since most of my cards, inspiration is like all the time. I get inspiration from everything, and sometimes a little overly too much. Sometimes I dream about cards, that kind of thing. But to actually complete the card, I think it takes me the first round of completing a card around 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. It just depends on how intricate the card is. And then after that, if I'm making it on a live stream or something like that, it's definitely easier because I already have the plan. And I'm one of those people who tends to kind of come up with a concept in my head, but it often changes as I go along. So it's definitely an evolving process. I'll show y'all another recent fun fold while we're waiting on the next question. So here, this is called an easel card. And I did this one recently with that same one. So can you make it without using a die cutting machine? Yes. So all of the things in this card, you can use my measurements that I used in the actual video, and you can cut these from pieces of paper without die cutting. So what I did is I die cut different frames right through here. That's what these are. They're frames that I put on top, but you could leave that plain and still get this whole card made. Now, as far as the cupcake and the little party hat, you're going to need something. You could do a sticker or something like that if you wanted. Let me see. So what's my favorite technique? My favorite technique is using embossing folders. I love it. It's super fun. I love that. I love heat embossing as well, which we did a little bit in this card here where we did that fun frosting. We did that with heat embossing. I just did an entire video on my channel, top 10 ways to use heat embossing, because people forget to use it for so many different things. So definitely, if it has the word embossing in it, I'm all over it. Let's see what else we can show. Oh yeah, so my next live stream is actually at 4 p.m. So right now it's 3 p.m. Eastern or 3:08 Eastern. At 4 p.m. Eastern, I'll be on my channel creating shaker cards, and I'm going to go do a really detailed view of how to create a shaker card. I'll actually show you real quick. We're going to be making this live. If you can see the shaker pieces in there. And I don't know if you can tell the background, but we created a really cool, easy background, put some shaker pieces in there, and do a little bit of layered stamping. So we're going to be making that live at 4 p.m. on my channel, 4 p.m. Eastern. So that's Nicki Hearts Cards. Sorry, I had to put that back over there. Thank you. I saw somebody say they love the card. Okay. I think that it's fine, Mimi. I think that it's fine to get a number of different ink brands. My favorites are Catherine Pooler. I love her inks. I love the colors. I'm a very colorful person. Like this is my personality. Is go super colorful. And so I love her inks because of the bright colors. But I also really appreciate the Altenew inks because they are kind of made in that layering format. So if you're going to layer stamps or something like that, let me show you. These are So Altenew inks often come in a set where you can layer the stamps. So you've got all 4 of these purples that go with each other. So if you've got a stencil and you need to do 4 layers of a stencil, you have all 4 of the purples that you need. So I like that concept as well, but I also really love the Catherine Pooler. They're very juicy and easy to ink blend with. Who else wants to see what's in those drawers? Okay. Do you use a scan and cut machine? Patty, yes, I do have a scan and cut. Do I use it often? No. If I'm going to mass produce a card, or if I've got a lot of intricate things that need to be cut out that I don't have a die for, that's when I tend to use it. I don't tend to use it like a Cricut or anything like that. I tend to just cut out images. And that's just partly because most of the time I have the die and I have a die cutting machine. So I tend to use that a little bit more. And hi, Patty. I love Patty. So why do some crafters spray the cardstock when they're placing it in an embossing file? That is because when you spray the cardstock with a little bit of water, you are kind of loosening up those fibers and allowing it to bend and mold into that folder. So you can always get an impression when you put paper through, but some paper is a little bit harder. Some paper doesn't bend quite as easily. And if you add a little bit of water to the back, you're going to get a deeper impression. See. Yeah, what are fun spinning elements to put into a card? Anything that spins, any stamped images. It could be a flower, it could be a butterfly, it can be, I've seen some cute, just little critters. I think you could do anything with a spinner card. It just makes it so exciting to open. Let's see what else. Yes, so you can emboss without a machine. It's not as deep of an embossing as you get with the machine because the machine can put so much pressure, but you can use something like a rolling pin and try to just put a lot of pressure on that. To me, that's a little bit hard on my arms, but it can be done. So, let's see. Ooh, what heat embossing tool do you use? So do you mean the one that heats up? Because I use this for my heater. So I use the Wow embossing, and I love Wow embossing powder. That is one of my faves. I definitely do some guest designing for Wow embossing powder, and they have some great products. They're out of the UK, but they have a US store as well. So where do I order most of my inks? So since I do this for my job, a lot of times I'm getting inks from companies that I'm working with. So I work with Altenew. I've done some things for Catherine Pooler. I have some CMSS stamps inks, those types of things. I don't tend to go out and buy a full thing. The only one that I bought the full thing was when I first started. I bought all of the Tim Holtz Distress Oxides, and those are great to learn how to ink blend. They are beautiful colors. I just wanted more levels of the same color like Altenew has, and I really like the super bright, intense colors of Catherine Pooler. Oh goodness, what ink should you use if you want to stamp with alcohol markers? Now, there's definitely inks that you can use to do that. I would highly suggest just using a black ink, my favorite black ink, and using clear heat embossing. I think that is the easiest thing to do. You know it's not going to run because that clear heat embossing covers it up and becomes like a plastic. Plus, it gives you a little bit of a raised edge so that you don't go outside the lines as easily. So that's my suggestion. I would say always use heat embossing when you're doing alcohol markers. So for a newbie with Altenew, it depends on what kind of colors you like. You want me to show you my top fave sets? Because I'll show you the ones that I use all the time. I would say that I am definitely the ones that I use all the time are, of course, over there with my projects, aren't they? This is a really unique purple that I held out before, Celestial Mist, Glacial Iris. That's one of their newer purples, sold out almost immediately, has been amazing. I used it in a recent video. If you see big roses that are purple, I'm using this, and it's a beautiful color. So those are great. They have some great reds, and I love this set. I love sea glass, ocean waves, dusk, and desert night. These all come together. Okay. My gateway into card making was scrapbooking. So I was a scrapbooker, and when my kids were born, I did their first couple years of life as scrapbooking. And while I was getting those ready, I was just overwhelmed. And so I thought, what if I could do this in a smaller form? What if I just made cards? And I just got addicted to how much faster, and I just felt more at ease doing it. And I loved being able to send it to other people because I felt like the scrapbooks were only for me. And nobody else really cared about them. So it's really fun. Okay. Okay, so as far as to print out my freebie, you should be able to, there should be a link, I think, under my presentation, which remember my presentation looks like this. This is my card. And it should just let you print this out. So you can print it out as a sticker, you can print it out and cut it out, whatever you want to do. Yeah, I see that one. I think I see a question about heat embossing. Is that what she's about to put up? Okay. So yes. So if you want heat embossing tips, you've got to see my video. I just did this huge video, 10 top ways to do heat embossing. And I talk about that all the time. I also talk about tricks for heat embossing in almost every video because I use it in almost every card. But as far as keeping it clean, I would say using a powder tool, like something like this, to put down first. Have you seen these powder tools? So you brush the powder on and then you do your stamping, and that tends to help keep the static from sticking that embossing powder to everything. Let's see what our next one is. Okay, I think we only have a couple more minutes left. So I am going to show you my card again, see if there's any final questions, and then I'll show you what the other couple of cards we might make today in the live. So I'm going live at 4 p.m. on my channel. And this is another one we will probably make. We did some background stamping in the back, some layered stamping, adding some stuff. And then we're, of course, going to make shaker cards. We also did this cute one. Hang on. We're also going to make some emoji cards. So find me there at 4 p.m. Yes. I think that's all. Okay, so I'm going to show you my card one more time. It's this one, double Z fold with a surprise. So it's got this little spinny element in the middle. That could be anything that you have small enough. So a little small critter. It could be anything that would fit inside that little square, which is about 2-ish inches. So it's really fun, and it's a good way to use up your pattern paper. So this is basically pattern paper for the cupcake, pattern paper for the hat, and then I used a little glitter paper just to create some extra fun shine. So I think I saw somebody said, what paper weight would you recommend for the card like this? So this is regular pattern paper weight, but the glitter cardstock's a little bit heavier. I think you could do it with an 80 pound. You need to be able to fold it. And you don't want it to be too thick. So I'd probably go 80 to 90 pound. And if you have some elements on there that are 100 or 120, that's okay. But this is a good movement, and that's just regular pattern paper. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay, so yes, if you don't have a color printer, then yes, you can't print out the freebie at home. You'd have to send it somewhere like Kinko's or whatever, FedEx or whatever those places are that might print it for you. Or a friend's house. Thank you, Patty. I hope that y'all enjoyed it, and I'm glad that it was a quick little chat, but I'll be on my channel at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is in about 40 minutes, and I will see you there if you want to make some shaker cards. And remember to follow me at Nicki Hearts Cards, and that way you keep up with all of my free classes, all the fun things that I'm doing. Have a great day. I hope to see you soon.